Today I want to talk about the word woke. I don't use the word woke very often at all. That being said, I don't mind when other people use it. One thing I have noticed is the way people try to turn it around somehow. I read a lot of stories about Disney, Star Wars, and MCU movies and TV series, and in the comments section, someone is always rightfully referring to those as being woke. Inevitably, someone else comes along and they deliver what they think is a devastating zinger gotcha response. They say,
"Define woke."
The definition of woke is a complex and multifaceted topic. I'm sure there are several definitions for the word depending on the application of it, and I'm sure there are people out there who are far more qualified than I am to dissect and explain these complexities. But I think there is a clear and very simple definition of the word woke, and I'm going to go ahead and put it in the description so when you see one of these trolls in the comments section, you can just copy and paste it there. So here's the definition. Woke means to prioritize race, gender, sexual orientation, or gender identity above everything else, including experience, talent, and ability. That's it. That's the definition. That's the response when you hear somebody say,
"Define woke."
Let me give some examples. When Marvel hired Chloe Zhao to direct The Eternals, it wasn't because she had a deep love of Jack Kirby's cosmic mythology. It wasn't because she had action chops or a track record in the superhero genre. It was because she had just won an Oscar for a moody drama and checked all the right boxes. She was chosen because of her race and gender, not because of her experience within the genre or the source material. This is an example of woke in this context. Then there's Charmine Obaid-Chinoy.
I like to make men uncomfortable. I enjoy making men uncomfortable.
Who's been tapped to direct the upcoming Ray movie. Her background, documentaries about women's rights in Pakistan. Cool, respectable. Has literally nothing to do with science fiction or Star Wars, though. But Disney thought it would be historic to make her the first woman of color to direct a Star Wars film. She was chosen because of her race, gender, and her religion, not her experience with the genre or the material. This is an example of woke in this context. Leslye Headland is another perfect example. She was brought on to run The Acolyte, despite her main qualification being Harvey Weinstein's personal assistant. You'd think someone tasked with writing Jedi lore would at least like Star Wars, but instead we got a show with a female lead, a mostly female cast, and a promise that it's not what you're expecting. That's code for we're throwing out everything that made it Star Wars. She was chosen because of her gender and her sexual orientation, not because of a proven ability to handle sci-fi franchises like Star Wars. This is an example of woke in this context. And this trend isn't limited to directors. Writers and producers follow the same formula. Take the She-Hulk writer who proudly said she didn't know how to write a courtroom scene and wasn't interested in researching law. Imagine pitching a legal comedy and bragging that you skipped the one thing that defines the genre. But she got the job anyway. This is an example of woke in this context. Or how about Kathleen Kennedy, who's basically the architect of the current Star Wars disaster zone. Her go-to move is to hire people with no experience in the franchise, no love for the lore, and no clue how to write science fiction. But hey, they're fresh voices, which apparently means voices that can't stop lecturing the audience. This is an example of woke in this context. And then of course there's the actors. Look at the Marvels. They didn't pick Iman Vellani because she was a powerhouse performer. They picked her because she is Miss Marvel. Literally. That's what they said. She's a fangirl in real life, so she's perfect for the role. Except real life and acting aren't the same thing. They chose her because of her race, gender, and her religion. That's an example of woke in this context. And then there's Brie Larson. I don't really have anything to say about her. I just wanted to show this picture.
Simp.
Or how about Reva from Obi-Wan Kenobi? Moses Ingram was given a massive role with almost no character development and told to go toe-to-toe with Darth Vader. When fans didn't respond well to her performance, Disney didn't ask, hey, maybe we should have written her better. Nope. They immediately blamed the fans and released a pre-written statement accusing everyone of being an istophobe. That's not protecting your talent. That's using identity as a shield against criticism. And it's also an example of woke in this context. Or how about we take a look at America Chavez in Doctor Strange 2, who was basically the star of the movie. What did she add to the story besides a pride pin and one-liners about her two mamas? Zero backstory, zero arc, maximum screen time, just to check some boxes and push Strange through some portals. She was chosen because of her race, gender, and her sexual orientation. This is an example of woke in this context. All of this adds up to one thing: people being hired because of who they are, not what they can do. Woke means filling a writer's room with activists instead of storytellers. Woke means writing a character around an identity instead of a personality. Woke means hiring a director based on their gender rather than their genre experience. And people are tired of all of that. We hate being told that liking the original version of something is problematic. We hate being blamed for noticing when a character we loved gets rewritten into an unrecognizable mess. You don't get to keep hollowing out these franchises and then act shocked when the audience stops showing up. You don't get to insult your fans and then demand their loyalty. And you don't get to pretend it's some huge mystery why every single box-checking, identity-first, message-driven piece of content keeps falling flat. So next time someone smugly says,
Define woke.
copy and paste the response from the description. Woke means to prioritize race, gender, sexual orientation, or gender identity above everything else, including experience, talent, and ability. And spread that around. The Twitter mob won't know how to respond because there's no legitimate rebuttal for the truth. And feel free to share this video because every time I post a video with too much truth, YouTube has been throttling the hell out of it. So I'd appreciate it if you like this video, please share it. Anyway, that's it. Am I right? Am I wrong? Let me know all the reasons I'm an idiot in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, click notifications, and I will see you next time.